Carlos Centenius is starting a website about adoption for gay people and stuff that you should look into and link to or something. And I sent him sort of our story in a nutshell, because we've been at it for a long time. Being gay folks trying to adopt is difficult. And here in the county where we live, there's one agency that has, because we're not going through a private agency, we're going through the state. There's one agency that has the contract for all adoptions that you have to go through, and that's Catholic Social Services.
Right.
Which has not been a positive experience for us.
No, of course not.
But one of the things they ask you is, over and over, is about religious beliefs. And if that child you intend to adopt attends a church regularly, will you continue to take them there? They ask you about what will you teach them. And I was very upfront with them. And I said, I don't believe, depending on the age of the child, that, until I feel like a child's old enough to make up their own mind decision, then I think the child gets to do whatever they want to do. I mean, not go to church.
Right.
By that is what I meant. And I said, our daughter's she was 2 when we got her, and she's too young to make those decisions. But I said very clearly, if this child is attending a church that teaches that gay people are somehow bad or wrong, or not worthy of God, or not the same as everybody else, then I won't take them to church. And that includes the Boy Scouts, and that includes any other organization that's politically driven to keep gay people down. Well, there were children we were interested in having that identified as gay or transgendered, and they felt that heterosexual couple was a better match. So that's what we're dealing with. And back to the religion thing with our daughter, I think I'm hypersensitive about religion and so forth, but when we got her, I took out her earrings because I said a 2-year-old didn't have the choice. They pierced her ears without her asking, and I want her to grow up making her own choices. I mean, we have to guide her as parents, but even stuff as simple as that, I want her to make those decisions for herself. If she asks me about religion or Jesus or whatever, I'll tell her. But in a way that she gets to form her own opinions and make her own choices. I think that's what's right. When we lived in New York, I had a reversion back to sort of like, I've got to be a good Mormon boy. All the while, I was like having sex with anything that moved in New York, even when we lived together, which is crazy. But I remember thinking at one point, by God, I will show the Mormon Church what I think, because I'll go out and I'll sleep with anything I can, and I won't protect myself. And if I'm lucky enough to become HIV positive and die a horrible slow AIDS death, that I'll show that Mormon Church. I remember thinking that in my mind.
How will that show?
That's how sick and fucked up my mind. It wouldn't. But somehow that was
would prove everything.
That was my revenge. That was going to be my revenge on the church.
To get AIDS and die.
Yeah.
Do you think you were just...
By the grace of whatever, I didn't.
Okay.
And God knows I probably should have.
Do you think... I'm like trying to psychoanalyze you.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you think that you were just saying that so that you could have sex? Or were you really like,
no,
I'm angry?
I was angry. I was
sex.
Still... It was revenge. It was revenge sex against the church.
So you were going to church while you were having sex?
Oh, yeah.
You were taking the sacrament, or?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
I mean,
God knows. Who knows what would have happened if someone, to a lot of us, had reached out early on and said, I'm a gay man, and let me talk to you about what it means, if you feel this way, or what are your feelings, or... Maybe, you know what I'd probably say, if I had to say one sentence, is be brave and feel no shame, probably. I can't believe no one in my life ever tried to out me or convince me I was gay. How is that possible? I mean, I was like doing dress-up drag shows when I was a kid, little. you know? But no one ever did that to me, and I think it would have been devastating and it would have set me back. Because it has to be on your terms. You know, you gotta feel safe. I'm lucky I have this, you know, this amazing partner too, who's nothing like me. I mean, we're, you know, opposites attract is the rule that brought us together. It's just, we're so completely different. But it works for us. I don't mean that's the key to finding a relationship, but it works for us. And then we bring this, you know, this little brown girl into our lives who's just like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life by far. And it just changes the way you look at everything and see everything. And professionally, I mean, it doesn't inhibit me. I think it makes me better. I used to look at people like me and say they were cop-outs. You know, I have the house and the yard and the dogs and the child and the, you know, the Desperate Housewives life. Yeah, you know, but it's what's right for me right now. And, you know, it's nothing to do with being gay, but a lot to do with being an artist. And, you know, you've got to, when you're an artist, you have to ask yourself why you do it. I'm not doing it for fame and money. I'm doing it because I have to. It fulfills something in me. You know, a few years ago, I had dinner with a couple of my best friends from BYU. And we've all three gone different ways, you know, different parts of the country. And we all sort of came together in the same place. And I love those guys dearly. But what once connected us, which was the church, Mormon church, was not there anymore. I mean, I was not part of that. They were there still. But we were just so different in so many ways. And one of them said to me, it was really interesting. You had the super gay guy, and you had the two Mormon guys, and one of them, my friend, said, you know, I think I understand kind of where you're coming from, Patrick, and I think there's a spectrum of sexuality that exists in humanity, and you know, you can be super straight or super gay or somewhere in between, and we're all there somewhere. And the other guy said, well, and the standard textbook Mormon answer, you know, Patrick, be strong. We're all given our struggles in life, and, you know, to overcome. And I'm like, you know, I'm not in a wheelchair. You know, I'm not like mentally ill or something. It's like he was speaking to me in that sort of Mormon condescending way of, I shouldn't generalize like, but that's what it felt like. Of, you know, this is what Heavenly Father has given to you to overcome in your life, and you'll be so strong when you do it. And it was that kind of talk, and I said, you know, I just have to stop you because you're talking to me, first of all, in a really condescending way, and like I'm a child, and you know, this is not a problem or an issue for me. This is a problem and issue for you.
Right.
I said, maybe this is the obstacle that Heavenly Father has put in your path
Right.
to deal with,
Right.
to overcome. That you have to accept me
Right.
for what I am.